Scratch Records.
The summit of entertainment.
Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, mesdames and messieurs, massa and gonderedem. It's once more your humble servant, His Imperial Majesty, Uncle Terence, Muna Ashwa T-Boy, the Vicar General, His Apostolic Nuncio, and today we shall be learning the major scale. Hoy vamos a aprender la escala mayor. Aujourd'hui, on va apprendre l'échelle majeure. Today, we will learn a major scale. So stay tuned to Scratch Records in a moment. Today, we shall be learning the major scale. So this is chapter 3 of our music theory. So we treated chapter 1, we treated 2, and we are now on the third topic, which is the major scale. So we are going deep. I know most of you are anxious already. You want to start hearing sound. You want to start playing the guitar. You want to play the piano. You want to learn the softwares to produce, be it Sonar, Ableton, FL Studio, Logic, Pro Tools, and what have you. We are all coming there. But we have to go gradually. And this is the gradual process. And that's why I said, those of you who are following this lesson, who are following this course, you are really lucky because I'm taking you from scratch, like the name of our channel. I'm taking you from that level and right up to any level that you want to become. I've trained a lot of people and I'm happy because each time I train students, most of them become even better than me. So that's to say it's working. So do not be in a hurry. Do not be in a haste. Don't think about playing already. But when you follow this, I know some people will just fast forward the video because you don't want to hear a lot of talking. Let me tell you, believe me, the talking is not to gain time, but it's to make you understand. So those of you who do not listen to this, believe me, you will come back to listen to it. Or even if you don't come back, those who have listened, they're gonna be better. So do not make any mistake. Do not always you can. It's not even by watching a video once. Watch and rewatch because there are some things you would not understand once, but when you rewatch and rewatch, you understand what you've not understood. But if you understand just once, it's good. Okay, so let's go into the topic of the day, which is the major scale. You know, in our last lesson the other time, we treated the chromatic scale that boiled down to the diatonic major scale. So right now we are in the major scale. So we already have our major scale. And what's that major scale? We have C, but this time we're gonna do it chromatically, but we are in the major scale, but we'll do it chromatically because you remember we had a formula. Very important is that formula of skip, skip, don't skip, 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 do not skip. So now we want to know how to use the major scale, but we have to treat it from our chromatic scale now before we get into understanding how to use our major scale. So as we learned the last time, the first note is C, which is Do. You already know the names of the different notes. And the second is C sharp. You got D, D sharp. E does not have a sharp. You have F, you have F sharp. You have G, you have G sharp. You have A, we have A sharp. We have B, and we have C. We all know it starts with C and it ends with C. Because the first C is of low frequency and the last C is of high frequency. And you know the difference, we have already spoken about that. It's of low pitch and it's of high pitch. Okay, now we have to fill the blank space with this formula. We already know our formula of SXX, SSSX, which means skip, skip, do not skip, 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 do not skip. All right, Let's go. We know what we said the last time. So let's just write on. We have to find the scale of C. We have to find the scale of C sharp. We have to find the scale of D, D sharp E, F, F sharp G, G sharp A sharp B, and B sharp. That's what we are trying to do because these are the notes that exist in music. We said there were 13 numbers, but now they have boiled down to notes. So, but each note has its family. Each note has its relatives. So these are the relatives of the note. And when that's each note means each key or each sound. So for instance, the C note has her family, her relatives. And when a music or a key, or if a music is playing on the key of C, you cannot use a different relative or the relative of C sharp, for instance, to play a song with C. So now we have to look for the relatives of all the notes, of all the keys, so that each time if a song is on F, for instance, you know the relatives, but it's a formula. It's not cram work, it's a formula. So when we use the formula, you understand how to use the notes or the relatives of that key. All right, we start with the first musical key, which is C. Okay, now what do? We already have our formula of skip, skip, don't skip, 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 do not skip. All right, we start with C. What do? We skip. From C, if we skip going down, where do we go to? We know we don't go to C sharp, but we go to D. Okay, so the first is skip and we go to D. So what do we do with D? This is D. You take D and put here D. All right, what's the next formula? We skip again. So we go to E. You put E here. What do? We don't skip. So we go to F. We put F here. What next? We skip. We go to G. What again? We skip. We go to A. What again? We do the last skip. We go to B. And the last thing on the formula is don't skip. We go back to C. We have C there. So if you look technically, you would understand something strange. I don't know if it's strange, but there is something unique. That this is C and that's C. So now we have had do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So to know that you have the correct answer is that where you start is where you would end. If you start with D and end with, if you start with D sharp and end with E, there's a problem. Each key you start on, the last note of that key is the note you would end on. Because I have said music just rotates. It's just rounding. So where you start, you end there, and you just keep going like that. Okay, now let's find the next key. It's good you all do it yourself. Sometimes you forget about mine. Use the formula and do it yourself so that you understand. Because if you just see what I've done, you see it looks a little easy, but it's not as easy as it is. So sometimes, well, don't cheat yourself by looking what I've done. Watch the video, but learn what I've said and try to do it yourself. Because when you understand yourself, that's how you're going to understand music yourself. That's how you're going to work music. When you're hooked somewhere, you will know how to find your way out because you need to know all of this. Okay, now let's look for the relatives of C sharp using the same formula because we are on the major scale. So we are looking the major scale of all these notes. So C sharp, what do? Skip, we go to D sharp, you bring it here. Skip, you go to F, you bring it here. Don't skip, you go to F sharp. Skip, you go to G. Skip, you go to A sharp. The last skip, you go to C. And do not skip. What do? There's a little gymnastic here. Be very careful here because if you miss here, you've missed. We have done the last skip. So what do we do? Do not skip. But now, this is the gymnastic. Remember that this C is the same C. I told you it's the same thing. The only difference is the pitch, is the frequency. But they are the same note. So each time you are here, consider yourself here because it's the same note. So I am here. So do not skip. What do? I come here. So it gives me C sharp. As easy as that. Okay, now we go to the next note, D. What do? Skip. We go to E. What else? Skip. We go to F sharp. Don't skip. We go to G. Skip. We go to A. Skip again. We go to B. The last skip, you have to skip now. That's the place of that gymnastic. So you have to skip both C. So you skip this and this. You come here. That's the last skip. You come to C sharp. And do not skip. You go to D. So you see that where we start is where we end. Where we start is where we end. Where we start is where we end. Okay, now we are on D sharp. What's the relatives of D sharp? Or in other words, what's the major scale for D sharp? Okay, we use the formula. What do? We skip. We go to F. You bring F here. What again? We skip. We go to G. We don't skip. We go to G sharp. We skip. We go to A sharp. We skip again. We go to C. And we are here. We do the last skip. We go to D. And do not skip. We go to D sharp. So it gives us the major scale of D sharp.
Scratch Records, a place where you can undergo a complete music course without paying a dime. Here, we teach everything from scratch to finish. We offer free courses in music theory, guitar, piano, drums, vocals, and lots more. We even offer a free course on music production using softwares like Ableton, Cubase, Sonar, Logic, Pro Tools, FL Studio, and many others. What's amazing? We offer courses in sound engineering as a whole. The only opportunity for you to make your dream come true as a music genius is with Scratch Records. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell for new alerts.
So let's just write on. We already understand the formula. So let's just go. There's no waste of time. Without wasting time, we go to E. And E happens to be one of those notes that have no sharp, the no sharp, because it's a half note, but we'll treat that in subsequent edition. Okay, so what do? We look for the formula or the major scale of E. So what do? We skip. We go to F sharp. We skip again, we go to D, G sharp. We don't skip, we go to A. We skip, we go to B. We skip again, we go to C sharp. We skip, we go to D sharp. We don't skip, we go to E. That's the major scale of E. Let's write on. We are on F. What do? We skip, we go to G. We skip again, we go to A. We don't skip, A sharp. We skip C. We skip again, D. We skip E. Yes, and we don't skip F. So this is the major scale for F. Now we are on F sharp. What do? We skip G sharp. We are on G sharp. Then we go A sharp. We don't skip, we go to B. What do? Okay, we are on F, yeah. Let's not get it twisted. We are on F. So we skip, we go to G sharp. We skip again, we go to A sharp. We don't skip, we go to B. Okay, we skip, we go to C sharp. We skip again, we go to D sharp. We skip again, we go to F. And we don't skip, we go to F sharp. Okay. So we are on G sharp. We already know the formula, so we just write on G sharp. We use the formula. What do? We skip A sharp. We skip C. We don't skip C sharp. We skip D sharp. We skip F. We skip G. Finally, we don't skip G sharp. So you see that whenever we start or wherever we start is where we are going to end. So if you start with A and end with A sharp, there is a problem. Okay, now we are on A. What do? We know the formula, so let's write on. A, we skip, we go to B. B, we skip, we go to C sharp. We don't skip, we go to D. We skip, we go to E. We skip, we go to F sharp. We skip, we go to G sharp. We don't skip, we go to A. Okay, now we are on A sharp. A sharp, we skip, we go to C. We skip, we go to D. We don't skip, we go to D sharp. We skip, we go to F. We skip, we go to G. We skip, we go to A. We don't skip, we go to A sharp. Now we are on B. You skip, you go to C sharp. C sharp. You skip, you go to D sharp. You don't skip, you go to E. You skip, you go to F sharp. You skip, you go to G sharp. You skip, you go to A sharp. You don't skip, you go to B. Do I need to talk about C? Alright, so let's just do the C. But what I'm talking about the C is because where you start is where you end. So the C major scale below is still the C major scale above, and we have already treated it. So there is no need doing that again. But you can still just do it for understanding. But there is no need because it's the same thing. So what I'll do, I'll just take what's above and put below. So below, what do we have? We have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Don't mind me, I mix my capital letters and small letters, so it works. So that's it for the major scale. This is the major scale of every note. This is the major scale for C, the major scale for C sharp, right up to another C. There are too many scales, and we'll be treating them in subsequent edition. But now, this is every major scale of every note, which means if a song is playing on the key of G, for instance, if the song is on the major scale, because there is a major scale, there is a minor scale, there is a diminished scale, there is a pentatonic scale, there are too many scales, we'll be treating them. But when you understand the diatonic major scale, believe me, this is the key of music. When you've understood how it works, it's not just all about those writings. When you understand what all these writings mean, how to use them, then you will be able to manage any scale, be it the major, the minor, the pentatonic, the diminished, whatever. But all boils down from the major scale. So that is it for the major scale. So this is the result of the major scale. We have done the working of the major scale, and now we have what we call the major scale chords formation. And we have over at the right side of the board, the major scale chords combination. Okay, we have not treated chords and notes, so we don't know what it means for now. All right, but before we get into practicals, we will understand what chords and what notes. But as of now, this is very important for you to have this. You will not understand maybe basically anything here, but this is what we will use to start putting it in practice, to start playing the guitar, to start playing the piano, to start doing music practically, you need all this. So we say this is the major chord or the major scale chord formation, where we don't know what's a chord as of now, but we're going to learn it as time goes on. And so now, but let me just be brief to explain something. You know, all those notes, all those numbers we wrote, and all those letters, it boils down to this. If you go into the major scale we just did using our formula of skip, don't skip, skip, do not skip, we came out with the board from A, from C right up to the other C, so all the 13 notes. And now when we say the chord formation, it means to form a chord. The basic way to form a chord, a major chord, you take the first, you take the third, and you take the fifth. So this is the first, the third, and the fifth. So you go to each scale and take the first, the third, and the fifth of each scale, and this is exactly what it's going to give you. So always have a piece of paper, look for an exercise book, and be working with me to have this course, so that at the end of your course you should be able to go back into your book and read and understand it, because this is no joke. You have to take this very serious. This is a music course I'm giving you for free, so do not make any joke about it. All right, now you go to each note. So this is the first, the third, and the fifth of C. This is the first, the third, and the fifth of C sharp, right up to the other C. So this is how you form a chord. So if you hold the C, the E, and the G, it gives you a C major chord. If you hold it on a guitar, it's the same. On a piano, on any music instrument, the first, the third, and the fifth gives you the C major chord. That's the basic chord. The C major chord sometimes can have even 5, 6, 7 notes, depends. They are advanced chords. There is the 7th, there is the 9th, there is the 11th, there is the 13th, but we are coming to that in subsequent lessons. But now you should understand the basic major chord is the first, the third, and the fifth. So the third, the first, and the fifth of every key gives you the major chord of that key. Then now we have over the right side of the board, we have what we call the chords combination. It means now this was to form a chord. I said we have not talked much about chords. So a chord is just one note or 3 notes of one key. So and with one key or one chord, you cannot make a song. So now when you combine those 3 chords or 3 notes, that gives you a chord. You can make to a basic chord progression, a basic chord combination. The C, the F, and the G, which is a do, fa, and sol. And that's the most used progression, the most used combination in music. If you hear 1,000 musics, for instance, know that at least 700 of those songs or of the songs would be 1, 5, and 4. Well, we don't know why, but that's the most used combination. That's the most used progression. So, well, this is just for you to have it as of now. You will not understand much about it, but as we are moving on, subsequently, you will understand what this is supposed to mean. So this is the chords formation, and over there is the chords combination. Keep this very importantly, because you would need this, you use it when we start doing practicals. So, once more, ladies and gentlemen, it has been your humble servant, His Imperial Majesty, Uncle Terence, Mga Ashua T-Boy, the Vicar General, His Apostolic Annuncio, Papa Chonkrila Alazungu Pyong, and today we were treating the major scale chords formation and chords combination. Stay tuned for more videos and more lessons on Scratch Records. Bye bye. Au revoir. Omba. Ciao.
Scratch Records.
The summit of entertainment.